I'm Rachel from The Stay-at-Home Chef, and today I'm in the studio talking all about my new cookbook, The Stay-at-Home Chef Family Favorites. This has been years in the making, and today I'm giving you what you've all been waiting for, and we're gonna take our first look inside the book. I also want to share just a little bit about how this book came to be and why it might be a little bit different than other cookbooks you own. I might be a little bit crazy, but I promise it is crazy in a good way, and I'm super excited about it. So without further ado, here it is, the Stay-at-Home Chef Family Favorites Cookbook. First up, the table of contents. There are 18 chapters with 204 recipes listed in the book. But one of the cool things about this cookbook is that there's a lot more than what's listed. In fact, my count is that there are actually 346 recipes in this book. I have packed as much information as I possibly can fit in this cookbook. So for example, if you go to my Winner Chicken Dinner chapter, you'll find my recipe for baked chicken drumsticks. Sounds simple, and it is, but it's not just one recipe. I've included 4 completely different seasoning options, so while it's listed as one recipe in the table of contents, it's actually 4. And there are a lot of recipes just like that. In some recipes, I actually get to teach you things that you can use with other recipes in this book or just for cooking in general, which is really cool. A great example of this is my recipe for chicken a la king. I've included information on ways you can pre-cook chicken for any recipes calling for pre-cooked chicken. So I go over rotisserie chicken, freezing cooked chicken for later, how to bake chicken, how to boil chicken, and a quick skillet chicken. Another great example of this from the cookbook is my recipe for homemade muffins. I give you a base master recipe and then teach you how to change it up with things like add-ins, toppings, flavorings, and more, so you can use one recipe to make any flavor. And I'm sure at this point you may have noticed that there is something unique in this cookbook that can be found on nearly every single page. QR codes! That's right, not only is there a photo for every recipe in this cookbook, there's also a video. It was actually my husband's idea to add in the QR codes. We were conceptualizing this back in 2020 when people were just learning how to use QR codes en masse using their phones at restaurants. And my husband had the idea of, wouldn't it be really cool if we could somehow find a way to incorporate that into a cookbook? So I took the idea to my publisher, which is DK, so they're part of Penguin Random House, a massive, massive publisher. I think they're the largest in the world. And they said, you know, we've done a couple books with QR codes, but not one with that many, where there's one on every page. You know, we'll have to look into it. And fast forward, somehow they went with the idea. I'm a little bit crazy, but they rolled with it, and it was a massive effort on both their part and our part here at the Stay-at-Home Chef. And I'm just so excited that this is actually happening. There is a QR code on nearly every page, which makes this baby an interactive cookbook. How often can you say that? This is an interactive cookbook. It's basically like I get to be in the kitchen cooking right alongside you, and that's pretty much the coolest thing ever. This cookbook is actually really special to me because it feels like a culmination of my entire 10-year journey as the Stay-at-Home Chef. I started the Stay-at-Home Chef 10 years ago after I was diagnosed with a chronic illness that left me disabled. And I felt like I had something to prove to myself. And I've never been able to articulate exactly what that is, but whatever it is, I've done it. I definitely feel like I can say I've done it. As many of my fans know, my health has declined significantly over the past 3 years. I am not just sitting on this stool to look cute, it's actually because I cannot stand long enough to make a video like this. It is what it is. It's no secret that I've brought on significant help. I have a whole team. I have the amazing, wonderfully talented Chef Caitlin, who has been doing all of our newest videos. And that's awesome. I'm not going anywhere. I still do as much as I can. It's just that my body can't quite keep up anymore. I wanted to make sure that I got in a legacy cookbook before it was too late, before I could no longer do that. So this book is it. This right here is my legacy cookbook. Every single part of it is for me. I took all of the photos. I even took the photo on the cover, which tells its own story about my entire journey to where I am today, as well as my journey with you guys. It's crazy, actually. There's my famous chocolate cake and my rolls, which are really what got me started and launched my career. There's the chocolate chip cookies that I learned to make when I was 12 that got me into cooking in the first place. There's even a little nod to my first cookbook where I had this terrible photo inside the book that we just lovingly referred to as table sausages. And there are table sausages on the cover of my book. In fact, the entire cover is a glorified selfie where I set up a tripod right here and I had my team just, tell me if I look good, now push the button. So yeah, it's a glorified selfie and that's also a little bit crazy, but here we are. What I really hope is that this is the kind of cookbook that can stand the test of time. I figured there was no better way to honor my fans than to create the kind of cookbook that I wanted for myself and my children and my grandchildren. And I really do envision them using this book right here. It says right up front, this book is dedicated to my friends, my family, and my fans. And I'm serious about that. You guys have allowed my recipes to be in your home for the past 10 years. They are a part of your weekly routines and even your special occasions. I wrote about exactly that in the book because you are all very real to me. I thought about you every step of the way in writing and creating this cookbook. I feel a great sense of responsibility in providing you with the best recipes I possibly can, because if you're gonna trust me with your weekly routine or your special occasions or your holidays, then I better bring it every single time. I hope I did that with this cookbook. I think I did, but there's always that crippling self-doubt. You are the reason for the Stay-at-Home Chef. You are the reason for this cookbook. I am beyond grateful for the support that you have all shown me over the past 10 years. And that's ultimately what this book means to me, because it will sit in my kitchen and I will think of each of you. Sharing these recipes with you these past 10 years has truly been the honor and privilege of a lifetime. So thank you.